Welcome to our 5th video devoted to improving sitting posture. To begin, sit on the front edge of the seat and very gently notice contact of the two seat bones with the seat pan, with the surface of the chair. Would you say you sit more on the right or left? Or is the sensation of symmetry between the two seat bones? And then begin to tilt your head to the right. Gently tilt your head to the right, which means you don't turn your head, but you tilt it. Your right ear goes down toward your right shoulder, and then you return. Remember to do only what's easy. Don't stretch. Don't go to the limit. Tilt your head to the right, and then come back. And sense how simple, how light this movement is for you. Compare now with movement to the left. Tilt your head to the left. And observe, does this feel easier to you or more difficult than the same movement on the right side? Or perhaps you feel that the two feel fairly symmetrical. Very nice. Now, place your right hand on top of your head and begin to tilt your head, gently guiding the movement with your right arm. Your right elbow is making an arc in a downward direction and to the right, and then returning to neutral position. Again, work only with what's easy for you. Observe movement of your ribs. Feel ribs on the right side begin to shrink. The distances between the right ribs collapse and ribs on the left side expand. Can you sense that? Very nice. Place your hand back on your thigh and completely relax. If you sit on the chair with a backrest, you can even slouch back or rest a moment. Enjoy sitting in any way you want. Come back to the front of the seat and begin to lift your right seat bone, your right buttock. Maybe at the beginning you just reduce weight of your right buttock and then bring it back. Lift your right seat bone, shifting your weight onto the left and then coming back. Here too, only do what's easy. Simple movement without any strain in your lower back or middle back or any strain anywhere. Observe, when you lift your right hip, your ribs on the right side shrink. And then come back, providing that you don't do the movement like Leaning Tower of Pisa when the entire body moves to the right. Such movement requires fixation of the ribs. So for the purpose of today's lesson, we use lifting of the buttock and shortening of the right ribs while the ribs on the left side expand. Watch, when you lift your right seat bone, does your head want to tilt? Very nice. Come back and put your right hand back on top of your head and tilt your head to the right. And observe if whether after just a few movements with your pelvis, the movement, the original movement, is easier. Tilting your head to the right and coming back. Place your hand down on your lap and completely relax. As you're relaxing, take a breath into your belly and exhale, let go. Inhale through your nose. Exhale either through your nose or your mouth, completely letting go. Now, place your right hand again on top of your head, and let's combine the two movements. Tilt your head to the right, lowering your elbow, and lift your right seat bone. Return to starting position. Tilt your head to the right and lift the right seat bone, and notice your whole spine is creating a round shape, like parenthesis open or C position. Then you return to upright position of your spine and your pelvis. When your head tilts right, your pelvis lifts, and then return. Exhale as you perform this movement. Inhale as you return. Very nice. Place your right hand back on your lap and check your original movement of tilting your head to the right and coming back. And notice if you feel an improvement. If your head feels that the movement is simpler, whether more of your skeleton is involved in this movement. Compare that with movement to the left. Perhaps you notice that something, after just a few minutes, is more integrated, improved. Very nice. Take a moment to rest again if you want. Sit back, rest in your armchair with the back supported. If you're using a stool, just sit in any way you like. As you breathe in, let your belly get round, expanding. Exhale, letting go. Inhale once more to your belly. Exhale, let go. And now we'll do movements on the other side. Please come to the front edge of the seat and begin to tilt your head to the left. Observe how far and how easy the movement is. Do not stretch. Only go within whatever you consider to be simple right now. Tilt your head to the left and then return. Feel when you tilt your head to the left, your left ear goes down and the right ear actually lifts up toward the ceiling, and then come back. As you tilt your head, how does your spine behave? Does it move between your shoulder blades in the middle section of the back? Can you sense any echo of movement in the lower back? Terrific. Place your left hand on top of your head and tilt your head with help of your hand. Your left elbow makes an arc to the left and downward and come back. Exhale as you tilt your head left. Observe folding of the accordion of your left ribs. Observe expansion of the ribs on the right side. As your elbow tilts down and the head goes left, ribs on the right side spread apart and ribs on the left side compress. Then return. Place your hand back on your lap. This time, lift your left hip, your left seat bone, a tiny bit off the surface of the chair, and then come back. Observe that here we're making movement from the bottom of the spine. When you tilt your pelvis sideways, weight goes onto your right buttock, and the weight of the left buttock elevates, comes off of the surface of the chair. This movement allows the left side of your rib cage to shorten and the right side of your rib cage to expand. Do only movements with an easy range. Observe that your head wants to tilt to the left, unless you're lifting your pelvis with an idea of like leaning Tower of Pisa. When you lift the left side, you could have your whole spine just lean to the right without bending. This is how a box would lift. If you lift the left bottom of the box, the whole box tips to the side. That requires stiffening of the spine and stiffening of the trunk muscles. Now go back to lifting your pelvis and allowing the spine to bend, allowing the ribs to respond. Wonderful. And now let's check the original movement. Place your left hand on top of your head and tilt your head to the left. Observe if something is simpler about this movement. If more of your spine and more of your rib cage is involved in tilting the head to the left. Perhaps the movement feels simpler. Stop and put your hand back on your left thigh. As you rest again, observe your uprightness. Observe the length of the two sides of your rib cage, the length of the waistline on the right and left side. Feel your breathing. As the breath comes in, your whole chest, front, back, and sides of it move. Observe your abdomen lifting and expanding and releasing on exhale. Now place your left hand back on top of your head and combine the movement of lifting the pelvis on the left side and tilting your head to the left. The two ends of your spine bend. Do only movements within the easy, simple range. Head tilts left, pelvis lifts up on the left side, the side of the right torso and waistline expands, while the torso and the lower abdomen on the left side compress. Return. Do it once more. And then come back. Place your left hand on your thigh and do the original movement of tilting your head to the left and coming back to the middle. Tilt your head to the left and come to the middle. Examine if the movement has improved. To finish this lesson, check your original movement of tilting your head to the right and to the left. Simple, easy movement to the right and left with minimum to no effort. See if you can cultivate the attitude of effortlessness, of ease. Good. Stop the movements of the head and now alternate lifting the right seat bone and the left one, shifting your weight from one side to the other. And observe the length of your waistline, ribs, throughout the whole torso, shortening and lengthening dens of the two sides. Observe the tilting of the pelvis from right to left is engaging tilting of the head to the right and to the left. Very good. Stop and feel what you notice about your uprightness and straightness of the spine as you learn to bend the spine to the right and bend the spine to the left. You also noticing where midline and vertical position is. That's important for our upright dynamic sitting. That's the end of the session. Thank you.